In Ashburn, the cheaper house can sometimes end up costing you more. And the more expensive house can sometimes be the cheaper one. Annoying, right? But that is exactly where buyers get into trouble with new construction versus resale. You find two homes you like. One is brand new, never lived in, clean. The other one is 10 to 15 years old, costs less, and the previous owner already paid for the fence, the deck, the blinds, the trees, patio, and all the little stuff that makes the house feel finished. So which one is the better buy? Here's the honest answer. This is not really new versus old. It is visible problems versus future bills. That is the whole decision here. A resale home shows up its problems up front. A new bill sends you the bill later. So you're not really picking perfect versus risky. You're picking which surprises you are more ready for. Let's start with the resale. The good thing is a lot of the life stuff may already be done. The yard, the fence, the deck, the blinds, trees tall enough to actually matter. Somebody already spent the money. The price you see is closer to the price that you can actually live with. That is real value, especially in Ashburn, where a finished yard and real upgrades can add real fast. But a 10 to 15-year-old home has a clock running on it. The roof, HVAC, water heater, the windows, none of that lasts forever. And around that age, at least one is getting close. That does not make the house bad. It means that you ask better questions. When was the roof replaced? When was the HVAC replaced? How old is the water heater? Any water in the basement? Any open permits? And if nobody knows the answer, that is also the answer. An answer. Because the renovated kitchen tells you what they wanted you to look at. The utility room tells you what they hoped you would not ask about. That is where buyers get caught. They see nice, pretty kitchen, the nice, shiny floors, the fresh paint, and they forget the boring stuff is what gets expensive, my people. The house does not care that the house does not care that the backsplash is cute if the HVAC dies in August. Very rude, but true. Now, the new build. Real advantages here. Brand new roof, HVAC, water heater, all the appliances. And nobody else made weird choices in the basement. For the first few years, the big stuff stays quiet. For some buyers, that peace of mind is worth a lot. But the online price is not the real price. The base price is not the finish line. It is the starting line. The model home is what happens when your budget loses adult supervision. And that's a fact. The cabinets you actually like, upgrade. The floors that do not look like a rental office is an upgrade. The island you thought that was included is an upgrade. The lot, the finished basement, upgrade, upgrade, upgrade. None of it feels crazy by itself. But it is just one yes, then another yes, then another. And suddenly, the home you saw online is not the home you are buying. Then after moving in, the bills keep coming. They don't stop. The deck, the fence, blinds, yard, all that stuff. Things the resale house may already have. A new build does not always cost more at once. Sometimes it just builds you slowly, piece by piece, for stuff the older home already includes. And here's something most buyers never ever think about. $80,000 in upgrade does not mean the next buyer pays you $80,000 more. Some upgrades hold their value, but some are just for your enjoyment. So when you are stacking all those yeses, know which ones you will see again when you sell, and which ones you are buying purely for you. Now, two things people walk right past. First, the person at the builder's model home may be very nice. They may even give you snacks, water, wonderful. That's amazing. But they're still not your agent. They work for the builder. Their job is to sell the builder's home. Your agent's job is to protect you. Walking into a new construction office alone is like sitting at a poker game where the dealer offers to hold your cards. Bring your own agent before you walk in, not after, before. Because once you tour and hand over your info, it can be too late to bring your person in the right way. Second, watch the builder's lender credit. Use our lender and get a big credit. Might be a great deal, but compare the whole loan, the rate, the fees, the monthly payments. And if the home is still being built, ask one question. What happens if the completion date moves? Because your lease does not care. Your moving truck doesn't care. Your kid's school doesn't care. And your interest rate definitely doesn't care. Nothing is free. Sometimes the cost is just hiding in a different pocket. One more thing buyers get lazy on: schools. Both homes might be Ashburn. Both might be Loudoun County. That does not mean they feed the same schools. And new construction does not automatically mean new school. Pull both exact addresses through the LCPS attendance zone viewer, not the neighborhood name, not the builder's brochure, the exact address, because the address picks the school, not the word new. Same thing with your commute. Drive the real route, the real time when people are actually going to work, not at noon on a pretty Saturday. So here's the real decision. The question is not which one is cheaper. It is which one is cheaper after the real costs show up. I've watched buyers grab the new build at the base price, then spend a year writing checks for blinds and the deck and a yard that looked a lot more finished in the model. And I've also watched buyers grab the resale deal, skip the boring questions, and meet a 16-year-old HVAC in the middle of summer. Neither one is the mistake. Skipping the question is the mistake. So here's my rule. If you want fewer repairs, worries early, and you are ready for upgrades, delays, and costs that show up after closing, new construction can be a great choice for you. But if you want a more finished property today, and you are comfortable checking an older home's system, resale can be a great choice for you. Neither one wins automatically. They are just different kinds of homework. So if you're stuck between the two in Ashburn, text me both homes, the prices, what is included, what is not, what the builder credit actually covers, and your budget looks like after closing. And I'll help you figure out which one is actually cheaper one. The cheaper one, once the pretty stuff stops distracting everybody. No pressure, no pitch. Just the real math shows the real surprise bills before they show up. 571-437-1880. I'm Atif Khan with Deluxive Homes, and I keep it real in real estate. Stay happy, healthy, and blessed. Peace.